Evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Barbers Arms, episode 28. Clocks are going back on Sunday. It's the big countdown to winter. Tonight, coming up on tonight's show, we've got me and Gaz's news desk all about what different tiers everybody's on. We've got some announcements on the Wahl British Barber of the Year and the Wahl British Barbershop of the Year coming in a few minutes. Around about 8:15. We have got the king of the new breed of barbers, the Instagram champ himself, the Premier League hairdresser and barber, Mr. Alan Beak, is going to be joining us about 8:15. We've got Gaz's cocktail around about 8:45, which is a perfect remedy for lock-ins and lockdowns. 9 o'clock, we see our local heroes making an appearance back on Barbers Arms. We've got Max Osborne from Number One Barbers in Milton Keynes. And then from my hometown in Barnsley at 9:15, we've got the one and only Mr. Tony Batty from Tony and Sons Barbershops in Barnsley. Without further ado, episode 28. Please welcome my co-host, Mr. Gary Machin.
How are you, buddy? All right?
Very well, Gaz. How are you?
Wow, great. Not bad. Bit of a normal week this week, so it's quite good. We've been really busy at work, so that's nice. I think it's a bit of a, from a point of view of everybody's got paid. Everybody's got a bit of a thing about being locked down, in which we're going to cover it again in a minute. It's not affecting us at the moment, but I think it's affecting a lot of our friends and family all around the country. So, yeah, it's doing quite good. What's your week been like?
Been nice and busy. Did a virtual seminar for one of our big consumer accounts, and then Wednesday saw me and Joff Davis from Savills get to our final selection for the Wahl British Barber of the Year and the Barbershop. And before we start, guys, it went live at 5:30 today on all social media sites. We've got the final 6, and I'm going to make an announcement here now on Barbers Arms. So congratulations to our final 6 Wahl British Barbers of the Year for 2020. In no particular order: Killian Madison, Gurai Kesman, Dale Ince, Sean Buckingham, Luca Chitty, and Kyle Rowlands. Congratulations. Out of hundreds of entries, you are now in our final 6. And the Wahl British Barbershop of the Year, Ruffians, making their 3rd appearance in the final. They're looking for the hat-trick this year and to become the first barbershop ever to get in the Hall of Fame. RW Wolf, centre of London. Avanto Grooming Lounge in London. Andy's Barbershop in Bicester. Cutter's Yard from London. And making their first appearance, and only after 5 months of trading, from Cheltenham, Barbarian Grey are making their appearance in the Barbershop of the Year. So congratulations to everybody. You can look on the Wahl Pro Instagram account and see all the nice comments that's coming in from there. Good luck to everybody. Said to the final 6 today when I spoke to them, they're like, some of them are just like glad to be in the final 6. You are so close now to win that coveted award. And I think everybody wants to get their hands on that big Champions League trophy that we give them. So good luck to everybody. I know, guys, you're going to be one of the judges on this. This should be good.
Fantastic. I mean, what an absolute fantastic competition anyway. But and I'm really, really proud to be part of it yet again for the 2nd year. I mean, these competitions, they do launch careers, don't they? I mean, you guys, it is the one to win, and Barbershop of the Year especially. I mean, it's such a fantastic award as well, and it goes such a long way. Ruffians as well, 3rd time. I mean, that must be a record.
Well, do you know what? In the I think 5 years it's been running now, there's only been 2 winners. Ruffians have won it twice, and Ted Baker Grooming Rooms in London, they've won it twice. But this year, it's all a brand new lineup. Obviously, Ruffians always, the previous year's winner always get a chance to defend their title. But I think even if they'd done their own entry, they would have been in. But for RW Wolf, smack opposite Harrods, they look good. Avanto Grooming Lounge on Oxford Street, Andy's Barbershop in Bicester, Cutter's Yard in London, and Barbarian Grey in Cheltenham. It's a strong lineup. I've got a great opportunity next week where I'm going in to interview all the salon owners in their shops Monday and Wednesday next week, and then we'll collaborate the point structure, the secret shoppers going into there. units. Some's already been in. Some are going to be going in the next 10 days. So it's interesting. It's exciting. And if I was an owner of a barbershop, you'd definitely want that title of the Wahl British Barbershop of the Year.
Do you know what? As well, it's nice to see some new names in there as well. It's you know, I mean, I know you have a great uptake on the competition, but you know, nice to see some new names in there. Some people that I've never heard of actually. So that's good. That's all good. Can I say thank you to everybody who was involved in the show last week? Everybody around the world who keeps giving us a great response and following us all the time. Cheers to everybody. What are you drinking tonight, Simon, by the way? I've gone back to my old faithful Newcastle brownie. I know they're in lockdown up there in the northeast, but I've just got to support them, and I love it as well. So what are you drinking? I'm
having a Portuguese Sagres. Nice little light lager. I'm going to have a few Tough Nut tonight, I think. Not got much on tomorrow. Got a bit of prep for next week, travelling to London on Sunday. So it's not going to be as late as what you were last week.
No, I will not be partaking or indulging, should I say, like it was last week, because I am actually working in the morning. My first client is 8:30 tomorrow. So I won't be staying up as late as I was last week, should I say. So
I woke up to a message on our messenger group, and I've just seen a real big bottle of Black Sambuca, really low down, with like a view of your legs put up with a telly on. I think even Trevor said, "What are you watching?" It looked like some 60s band or something. It looks like a documentary on Beatles.
Do you know what that was? That was my dad used to be in a band years ago, and I don't usually tell many people this, but it was a band called Gary Rogers and the Vampires. Can you believe that? And my dad was lead singer and lead guitarist, and they did, you know, they did the rounds. They did all band days, but they were like the equivalent of the Stoke-on-Trent Everly brothers, if you like. And this thing came on telly, and it was just about local bands around Staffordshire, and it came on. It was like a little documentary thing, and he did some big venues. You know, he did the halls, all the dance halls locally, and that. And he was a program about that, and I just got a bit, you know. I went to see him. The ad actually, and I don't know if my dad's watching, but they actually did a reunion gig 40 years later or whatever, and I actually got to see him on stage, and it was absolutely unbelievable. You know, throwing knickers at him and all that kind of stuff. You know, he was good.
Oh, nice.
He was really nice. So yeah, it was.
I suppose the knickers in them days as well were like bastard kites at that time. They must have got stuck in midair though, flying through.
Hey, I'll give you a little information. My dad was playing somewhere. I can't remember which dance hall it was. It was, you know, Ritzy or something like that. And he picked me mum out as the best looking girl at the dance. Married her, and they've been with her ever since. What story is that?
Bless.
Hey?
Well, guys, I did a bit of research. I was kind of busy this morning till about 12, and then I had a meeting at 2, and then I had a gap till 4. Then after that, I finished and I did something rare today. I thought, do you know what? I've been wanting to watch a film. You've got to watch this film. I could not stop watching. It's called The Last Full Measure.
Right.
Samuel L. Jackson. Who else is in it? There's just some good actors, and it's about the last full honor medal in America. Literally got to end of it, and even now speaking about it, I was sat in the living room on my own. I got tears running down my face. And when they clapped at the end of it, I actually clapped in my living room while I was watching the movie. It's one of the best films I've seen for a long time. It's about the Vietnam War and about somebody getting a medal that didn't get it at the time, and they honoured his parents. But what an emotional film! What a fantastic story! It's based on a true story. But I know you're kind of into that kind of. You've got to watch it. It's called The Last Full Measure.
That is my kind of film. That is, tell you the truth. He's got a bit of military and bit of humility as well. But I'm exactly the same. Do you know what? I know they say real men don't cry, I'm terrible. I am. Since I had children, it's like, well, since I had children, I mean, my oldest girl's 24. Ever since that, I can cry at anything. I tell you, it's just unbelievable. But you know, it's one of those things. I think that you just, when you get into a certain movie or a certain genre, it's great. But anyway, our show tonight, we have got Mr. Alan Beak, who's I know you know very well. He's going to be coming on in probably 4 or 5 minutes. We just give you a rundown of what we're doing. We've got Max Osborne, we've got Tony Batty as well. We've got our great quarantini tonight. I'll just let it out the bag before we even start. We've got a quarantini cocktail. So, but just getting back to what we're talking about. I know we've got some guys out there that are feeling the pain at the moment. We've got Northern Ireland. Hopefully you are not too bad at the moment. Hopefully you're coming through. We're a week into your lockdown, but we've got some more bad news that Wales are having a complete lockdown. They're tier 3 now as well. So, you know, all the guys out there who are in Wales who are, you know, barbers, hairdressers out there in the close contact industry, sorry about that, but we are going to see you in lockdown, I think tomorrow night, is it?
Is that Wales going to be completely shut off then, locked up?
I think so, yeah. You can't travel in or...
time they locked it up as well. They want to shut the bridge down and just keep them all in. No, I'm only joking to all our Welsh colleagues. Look, there was a message in that film, which I'm going to share with everybody afterwards as well. And it's tough. I've watched some interviews with people, concerns, confusion, worries, mental issues in terms of trying to cope with that. Hopefully tonight I can finish off with a few words of wisdom, just to help people through these next couple of weeks. But we're always here at Barber's Arms for you to email us if you want to speak to me and Gaz personally, or speak to the producers for anything you want to just run past us, then that's absolutely fine. Just to go through some of these addresses on our Instagram account, you've got Simon Shaw Wahl, you've got Gaz at the British Barber, and you've got Barbers _arms. That's all on our Instagram. If you want to have a look at our website as well, or send any messages, looking at the past episodes, our podcasts, that is the barbersarms.co.uk. And if you want to email us, that's barbersarms@britishbarbers.com. Don't forget as well, coming up on the 29th and the 30th of November, we have our first virtual trade show, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. Some top brands already in. I think we've got about 7 or 8 brands already locked in to this, which includes Wahl UK are going to be there. We've got the fantastic Mataki brand are also going to be involved as well, just to name a couple of top brands there. Not only fetching you fantastic products and special offers, but also as well, great education that's going to be on there. So that is something that you're going to lock into that, and you can register for that. I didn't catch how many people had registered for that so far, but I think there's over 500 people registered for the virtual trade show. So don't leave that too late, guys. Get locked in now and get registered as well for that. And you're going to talk a little bit about accredited salons as well a little bit later in the show, guys, to show people who's in there already, how you register for that. So that's a good thing to be involved as well.
Of course, yeah. We can show everybody, if everybody goes into the BBA, what we offer and what we can do for the barbering industry as well, for the sector. We'll bring that into you. We've got our local heroes, which is a great spot at the moment. We really, really value and love the local hero spot as well. So we've got 2 great local heroes. Talking about next week, we've got Nick Arosia as well, coming into the Barber's Arms all the way from Manchester via New York. Tribeca, he's a fantastic guy. Hopefully we've got Gary Jackson from Northern Ireland, who's going to give us the take on Northern Ireland as well. And we've got Mr. Keith Coniford to give us the take on what the Barber Council and the Hair Council are going to do for us with government as well. I think we've got Mr. Alan Beak nearly ready. I see he's just pulling up in the car park. Just give me your first, how you got involved with Mr. Alan Beak. Mr. Shaw, anyway.
I think always it's a bit like when you're looking at top football clubs, top players are always associated with the best brands and best football clubs. And the two, as Alan were starting his barber journey, not in the beginning, but as he was, for me, he's always like being the top of the new breed of barbers come through, the one that's really championed social media. He's built a massive following up on there. So, and it was very organic. We'll speak about it, but he told me that other brands had been in touch with him and sent him products. And he said, look, very, very honestly and bluntly, that he actually sent the products back, and he it was always when Wahl came knocking that he would want to work. So it's a bit like he'll not like me saying this, but it's a bit like a top footballer. Is he going to choose between Man United or Bristol Rovers? He's going to go to Man United, and we were lucky to sign Alan up with Wahl, and the rest is history. But ladies and gents, back in Barbers' Arms for the first time, the main man himself, the new captain, the new breed of barbers out there. He's done so much for the industry. Please welcome to Barbers' Arms, Mr. Alan Beak.
How are you, buddy?
Do a little applause for myself there, because obviously we can't hear a crowd, so I'll just expect one.
Very exotic where you are in Oldham.
Well, it's not really sunny outside, but I thought here on Cliff Hill Road, I'll get it nice and bright.
How are you, Alan?
Really good, thank you, mate. Good. Kids are in bed. I've got me cocktail for tonight in the form of a herbal tea, and yeah.
Well, it's funny. We were speaking to the production, and they were saying, "Oh, what does Alan drink?" And you're going to be disappointed because he's teetotal, and he's been teetotal probably since I've been working with you. Really, the last 3 or 4 years, you've not really drank, have you?
I did all the drinking that I needed to do when I was drinking. So, it's the 3rd of January. That'll be 3 years.
Wow! Congratulations. We'll have a drink to that, guys.
Yeah.
Well, cheers, mate. All the very best. What does it for you? I thank you.
You'll see Barbers' Arms, Al. You'll see that Gaz normally by about 9 o'clock starts to deteriorate with the bunch of cocktails that he has and the 7 or 8 Yuki Browns that he necks and a bottle of Sambuca in between. You'll see him deteriorate.
Alan, he doesn't make me a bad person.
He
just tries to wind me up all the time.
He does a good job of it though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's good.
The thing is, Alan, guys, you could actually be in a pub there. You actually look like you're in a pub. That doesn't look like a backdrop.
I am in a pub.
Yeah, I can see that. There's someone just put 50p down on pool table behind you.
We're in the bar.
I won't be there for long with Gaz. He dropped a tenner last week and it battered his fucking neck before it hit floor. So Alan, you've watched Barbers' Arms. We're going to build all our profile up, and hopefully the thousands that watch within the week, they get a little bit to know a bit of Alan Beak. Want to do a different interview to what you've been done in past. We've got some nice questions to ask you. Then we'll finish off with some quick fire answers to build a personal profile about you. I think people in the industry, especially, and I say this with no disrespect, but the new crop of barbers, they all really look up to you. They all want to be Alan Beak. And I think through your early career being an hairdresser, then the transition into barbering, and then what you've done with your social media site, you've done absolutely superb. But to start off with, in your career, what's the biggest achievement you've had so far?
I'd say biggest so far. I always gauge it on how much fun I had, rather than, because like, how do you define like a big moment? Is it going to Los Angeles? Is it going to, 5 different countries in 1 month? Like there's a collective of things, but there are definitely the things that I enjoyed, and they might even be small, but they mean much more to me intrinsically than they do extrinsically, like the things that brought me more money or took me the furthest. So I think one of the greatest, and I'm not just saying this obviously because it's you and it's Wahl, but last year on stage, when obviously Carl won Barber of the Year, and we had that massive team of people together, it wasn't a bond or like that community feeling, that family feeling like that. I've had that for a long time. We were all dressed the same, everyone had the same attitude, everyone was having such a good time. And then when we look at the time, the way that it is now, and then I look back to that, I think that was pure paradise. That was Disneyland compared to obviously what we've got now. And it's times like that that I cherish more than anything. The way that everyone came together under one roof, everyone was having an amazing time. We had great stage performances. Carl won Barber of the Year. It was just a big, big event. It was great. So that being one of them. Signing with Wahl, that's a massive, massive achievement with for me, something that I think every young barber dreams of. That was an incredible achievement. Again, and travel. You know, if everything stopped right now, I can look back and pinpoint on a globe, you know, 50 different trips, you know, maybe 20 different countries that I've been to. So collectively, I'm massively proud of it all.
No, nice. Gaz, I don't know, but you know, like Facebook drops up memories and stuff. Al, you'll have seen last couple of weeks, some of those memories popped up, and you look at the stage and I look at you laid across people, and there were Yuki there and we had Curve in there. These are two top presenters from around our team globe. But you won't believe that they're the top in their countries, but they only had little slots at Sally International. But they had such a fantastic work ethic behind stage that whenever they went on stage, they're great. But what they did behind stage for everybody were just unbelievable, weren't it, Al? They just never stopped. That's
exactly it. Yuki messaged me 2 days ago. We had a really, really nice conversation. And I just thought, you know what? We met each other one day and we've created a relationship now that's probably going to last for a very, very long time. And it was anything that happened on stage, it was being backed up backstage. You was reinforced no matter what. You had support in every direction. And that was the best thing about it.
I think, Al, as well, you know, you're talking about team and everything else. Can I just take you from a Wahl point of view? I mean, you know, I was there with you on stage, and we actually saw Carl take the title as well. From your point of view, who is Alan Beak? You know, Reese, I know, is with you, a big part of your company, but Ruger Barbers as well. Where did that come from? What's the name come from? Where's Ruger Barbers from? I know you. If anybody out there doesn't know you, I'm sure they do. But if there's anybody out there that doesn't know you, just give us a 2-minute bio of who you are and what Ruger Barbers is as well, please.
There's an author and an inventor of a pair of jeans called David Hyatt. And like Selvage Jeans, he created this company, and he also did this mini book, and this book is called Purpose. And basically, the ethic and ethos behind it all is that don't ever do anything. Don't put your heart and soul into anything unless it's got purpose. So there has to be meaning behind what you're doing, about the brand. And the brand name was a big thing for us. We didn't want to just be known as a barbershop. We wanted to be a household name, worldwide recognized for, you know, philanthropy and the growth and help of other people. We wanted to actually make a difference and make a change. So we wanted to make sure that the name came from something that meant something to us. Now, we followed a page on social media, and the owners of this page had a dog, and the dog was called Ruger. And we watched him grow up from being this absolute bundle of pure wrinkles. He was a Neapolitan Bull Mastiff, so a big grey thing. And after 2 years of following him, just literally one day, it went quiet on social media. We went back on the next day, and it turns out the dog had died overnight. So we said, when we open a shop, we'll have a shop dog, and we'll call the dog Ruger. And then the name just kept getting thrown at us. Never heard of it before in our entire lives. We went snowboarding, and one of the professional snowboarders we were hanging around with was called Ruger. If you look at the meaning behind it from like European and German terms, it's got a T in there, and it's Rutger, and it means philanthropy, making the world a better place, just living organically, that kind of thing. So it literally just fell into place where one day I just turned around and said to Reese, no shop dog, but do you know what we should call the shop? And he just said, yes, we should call it Ruger. And that was it. So because we had that kind of emotional attachment to the name, it was inevitable that that's what we were going to use for the brand.
I never knew that. That's a real cool story, to be fair. I love it when there's a meaning behind something, because I think it's then more personal. I've always said behind every product or wet products, what the number system that I have on my products, it means something to me. Each number means something. And when you tell the story, you buy into it a little bit more. And that is really, it's really touching, that. Really touching.
I know you were you taught in your early days as well. But where did your story start? Where did you start? Where did you actually start your career?
So I was 12 years, well, let's go back to like really young, a long time ago. I was 8 years old and I was getting my hair cut, and I just knew full well at that point it wasn't so much the haircut at the end of it. It was never the finished process. It's like when you goal set or you're trying to do something or achieve something, it's never about the end result. It's always about the process of it. So me going to a barbershop, you know, I didn't even care what the haircut looked like. To be fair, I remember the place where I first used to go for my haircut, I used to come out and need a blood transfusion. I was always cut. And it was always just the experience of being in there, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the smell, you know, wanting to like pick up the broom and help out. And then when I got to the age of 12, I asked the guys who I was going to at the time. Reese, incidentally, I was plucking up the courage to ask them for a job. And Reese just got in there, sat down and said, Reese, Alan wants a job here. And literally that was it. They said, is that true? I said, it is. And I started working there on like a Saturday, then a Friday. And then over the years, just ended up working more and more and just being in that environment and taking it serious. Like one thing that we lose so much right now with young people is the strong work ethic. Like I was never driven by what I got paid at the end of the day. I wanted to make sure the shop looked enthralled with making sure that they stood behind the chair and stayed there. I did everything else around it. I had responsibility, and being young and given responsibility, some people either crumble or take it in their stride and enjoy it. And I just loved it. So natural progression went on, and I waited until I was 21. I think this is one of my biggest regrets, really. I waited until I was 21 to start cutting hair. And within a couple of months of being in the college, I'd kind of demonstrated a few techniques that I was learning in the shop, and I'd learned, you know, taught myself. And the tutor, Janice Collins, an amazing woman and an amazing teacher, she said to me, like, this is your vocation. You need to teach. Obviously, me just demonstrating to my fellow students, she said, this is the time now that you need to do it. So she fast tracked me through my MVQs at level 2, level 3, and my assessor awards. And before you know it, I had 2 classes. So I'd finished my level 2, my level 3, and I had 2 classes, which I did after work. So I was doing 50 hours in the shop and then maybe 10 hours a week teaching. I was knackered, but I loved it. I really, really, really enjoyed it. So
I think our era, and you're younger than me and Gaz, or you're a lot fucking younger than Gary, to be fair.
Fuck.
Told you about swearing, your dad's watching. That era, us, Gary, you'll be the same. The amount of work that you did before you actually got cutting hair, I'd never changed that. My training at Dimensions, you know, the hard graft, the discipline, I wouldn't change that for nothing. And we can't do, I'm surprised, you can't really do that in salons some of the way that we were managed. Not in a bad way, but very strict and disciplined. You won't get away with that, but I would not change that. It's made me who I am today, that discipline.
I think that everyone should do that. And it's like, you know, you go back however many years, apprenticeships can last between like 1 and 5, 7 years, 1, 5 and 7, you know, depending on what you're doing. But an apprenticeship with us, it's like we've got 2 young girls on, we started them at the same time. And they're like 18 months in now, and they've started to do little bits of haircuts, but there's no way that I will let them fully like on the shop floor, renting a chair, doing anything until they've served their 2 years. You've got to be on a lesser wage. You've got to be doing jobs. You've got to be able to speak to your clients, KT clients, do any services that you're supposed to do, like washing hair, making coffees. And then you've got to train as well. There's that strong transition of running a shop from behind the scenes, back of house, and then doing the shop floor and training to be a barber at the same time. You've got to do it all. And once you've mastered that, that's when you move on to that next step. It's really, really important because it does instill that strong discipline and being able to prioritize and be organized in the shop.
Just, I mean, for our viewers out there, how old are you now?
35.
35. So we've got a couple of years on him, haven't we?
Yeah, just a few.
we've just got a couple, but I think exactly what you've just said is, you know, Alan, I almost, you could almost mirror our training and how our introduction to the industry. I did exactly the same thing, went into education through a college, asked us to, you know, just go in there. Can you just demonstrate? Ended up teaching, did me teaching qualification, exactly the same. And then you went on. When did you actually find your vocation with buying your own salon? Did you work for somebody else or did you go straight in? And I know with Reese, what's the connection with Reese?
So I was working in this one shop, Stephen Kane, two incredible. I mean, like these two were leading the way, the two guys that I was working for. They didn't class themselves as a barbershop because they were steering more along the lines of it being a men's hairdressers. And they were doing things that nobody else were in our town. And I was lucky to actually get a job with them and know them personally as well. Like they were the friends of the family, and ended up getting the job there, and obviously went into college. So I was working within Stephen Kane and the college, and maybe another 4 or 5 years in, I just started stepping on toes, changing the dynamic of the shop, you know, attracting clientele that the shop had never attracted before. Social media started, you know, I started to become extremely busy. It was a walk-in shop. So, you know, I could have 5 people sat behind me waiting for me. And, you know, the other people in the shop were sat down doing nothing. But if you were to drive past the shop, it would look busy. So I started to, it was causing a little bit of friction between us. So Reese was finishing his work with our older brother, and he'd already gone into hairdressing. He did it when he was a little bit younger. As soon as he left school, him and his girlfriend at the time, they just decided to go into hairdressing. And so Reese started before me, had his differences. I don't know if anyone that knows Reese, he's got a problem with authority. And when you work in a ladies' salon, it was actually a Tonian guy. When you work in that environment, you're not spoken to very nicely. The apprentices, the juniors, they're treated like shit, basically. Reese were having none of it. Reese packed his stuff, smashed the window and left. And that was the end of his hairdressing career. And that just literally personifies Reese to a T. And then when we were in the shop and we were losing someone, we needed someone else. So we just said, look, we'll take Reese on. We'll train him up. I rang the college because I still had like really good contacts there and said, you can do his lessons, his theory lessons, but I will do all of his practical and I will do his assessments, because my standards and the college standards were completely different. I actually ended up leaving because I wanted to up the standards of the college and change the curriculum, which they allowed me to do for a year. But the success rate wasn't as high because at the end of it, I didn't pass everybody because they hadn't completed the course that I'd set them. Whereas the college, unfortunately, the college that I was at, were more interested in a 100% success rate, even if that meant cross-referencing other units with units that weren't done, which I would refuse to do. So I ended up leaving on good terms, though. I expressed my dismay with them, but then left on good terms, still maintained a relationship, did Reese's training, and then Reese obviously just carried on excelling. He did the same thing as me, started building up a clientele. We were so busy, you know, we were the two brothers, we were the Beak brothers in Oldham that were really, really busy. It was time. The time, like intuitively, I'd been thinking it for a long time, like it's time to do it now. And we got to that stage where we just had to, you know, even if I didn't want to at one point, I actually offered the guys who I was working for a buy-in and said, look, if I buy in, I will stay here and run this shop. And you guys go and, you know, further up the road to somewhere posher and charge more, take appointments, which they didn't take completely lightly to, because it was the pride. It was their pride and joy. It was their baby. It was their, you know, their shop, and it was their name above the door, which they reminded me weekly. And yeah, that was it. It was time to go.
Al, you'll have seen today that the Wahl British Barber of the Year was announced around about 5:30. I think there's somebody in your town that's just branched out and got his own shop that is actually in the final. I was really pleased for him.
Brilliant.
that he got in. But you'll have had your eye on that today, looking at which barbers have got through to the final, and you probably know most of them. Most of them
all.
up to you. I know I spoke to I think it was Kyle today.
Kyle,
Wales, Luca Chitti. You've got some good names in there. Strong breed again.
Gure Kesman's in there again. He was in there last year.
Yeah, and he's the only one that's got there. It's funny, I spoke to Kyle because he's in Wales, so they're on lockdown, so we've extended the time a little bit for him. But he said, I was sat in the audience last year when Carl won it, and he said, I said to myself, I need to get my finger out and get to that final and win it. And here he is, he's in the final. So, well,
he's
fair
a phenomenal barber as well.
Do you know what? You've both said it today about the last year. I think when he won it, Carl Taylor, there's all the emotion about his mum passing away and the music. And he sent me a message the other day, which was a year to the day he won it. And we were kind of like, he played me the music on this video he sent me. I'm driving along and I'm like, I could feel myself. All those emotions, that kind of minute when you called his name out. Because when people said to me, what part of your career would you like to relive? What's the best bits? Announcing winners of Barber of the Year, Barbershop. They're big moments in your career. I would swap them. I'd pay to do it.
Yeah.
I would have to pay to do those bits. They're absolutely amazing.
Like what I said when I started, like that, it added to the full emotion of the entire event, because I mean, I didn't really know the full story. It's not something you just specifically ask somebody. I knew that he wanted it more than just to win it for himself. There was more to it. When someone's telling you backstage with tears in their eyes that they really, really need to win it and they want to win it, and I said, well, the only thing you can do, mate, is just go out there and do your best. And everyone did on that stage. That was one of the most difficult competitions I've ever had.
So close as well.
It was awful.
Honestly, I think last year was, I mean, I was involved with you guys. I thought there was great barbers on that stage. It was really, really, really hard to
I think there was a point between Carl and the second place, and Jem Winters, Dom Quinn, Rich Tucker from Ruffian. Strong again this year, mate. I mean,
really, really, really.
Based on that, Gary, I'm going to have a shot. Moonshine.
Well,
no.
I'm having tequila now, so tequila.
All the best, Al. Alan, question coming in from everybody.
Go.
What would Alan Beak be if you weren't a barber or an hairdresser, the head of Ruger? What would you be? What's your next thing that you think you would have wanted to do?
Right. Okay. So one of two things that I could see myself doing right now and being incredible at it. The first one, it's a bit shit, but a builder. Like, I always wanted to build houses and build big things. I watched Bob the Builder with the kids and I think, fuck, I could be doing that, me.
Okay, Lego champ.
Next is a better one. Not a lion tamer, a zookeeper. Imagine literally just messing about with exotic animals all day long. I'd stop cutting hair if there was a job available right now that paid me well enough to feed the kids and grow and do everything. I'd work in a zoo. I'd have my hand up an elephant's ass in no time. I'd be checking for babies and I'd be one of them, me. You know when you see on the nature programs where there's some bloke shoulder deep in a cow or something? That'd be me. My hands dirty.
I'd have never thought of zookeeper. That's the first here on Barbers Arms.
I probably love animals. Not as obviously my kids and my wife and my family come first, but everything else, animals, you just do not get more unconditional from them, and they're incredible, aren't they?
Oh yeah, well, go on, guys. I'm not a massive I am an animal fan, but I'm a bit timid when it comes to putting my hands in cows' asses.
I know you can't imagine that, but coming off a farm, I can see that. I've had the old cow's arse and delivered the odd calf and foal and lamb and everything else, so I can see that as well. Yeah. I think what it is something completely different than what we do anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you find with a lot of people that come from our industry and our sector, we can adapt to lots and lots of different things. But I think the main thing is having something to do outside of work that's completely different. My dad is exactly, we come off a farm. He's a hairdresser, he's a barber. We came off a farm and it's just unbelievable. It's a fantastic time. So
what would you have done, Gaz? What would you do, Gaz, if you weren't doing Rogers and a director and barber, an educator? What would you like to do? What's your first thing?
I mean, I come off a farm, so I'd have probably carried on with farming or something like that. I was always very good with my hands, so my lady says anyway. So I can. No, I'm electrical engineer. I like motorbike. We used to race motorbikes for years and years in cars and different things. So I like tinkering with things. Anything that involves tools, I'm there. So.
The thing is with what I said about building, like being a builder or a zookeeper, is it's completely out of character to me. If I don't have a conversation with one person in a day, then I feel like it completely depresses me. Like the worst thing about lockdown was not having full-on adult conversations. And as soon as I walked into the shop after lockdown and I had a conversation with someone that I've not seen for a while, I felt like I was going to break down in tears. I think no matter where I go in the world, I'll always have to stand and have conversations because we're people person. We've been put on stages, on pedestals. We've done that many different shows. We've been to that many different countries that you just know how to deal with people. And it becomes so natural and organic for you to have conversations and speak to people that when that's taken away from you, it's
we were speaking last week and I was asking Alan a question just to share with the viewers as well, is from a time scale, how long is it before people can get booked in with you? I was amazed to hear that between 6 and 8 weeks to get an appointment with Alan, which is kind of unheard of. When I first came into hairdressing at Dimensions, some of the top stylists there, you were waiting 5 and 6 weeks, but that's back in 85, 86. Not in this day and age. People don't, but to be booked up 6 weeks. It's got a great system at Ruger as well, where you can go on a waiting list. And I think that's kind of revolving all the time. And I think it actively works for these guys. Sometimes if you're on a waiting list, you could be waiting a week or you could be in that day. But if you're booking an appointment with Alan, it's 6 to 8 weeks. So I think the shop's doing really busy, all 6 or 7 stylists across, you've got 2 branches, haven't you? You've got one in Lytham.
Yeah. We've got seven barbers in one shop and then 3 barbers in another. So there's 10 of us all together. And then 2 juniors. And
I worked over there at Lytham. I did an evening for the Bikers Ride charity where we staff over there. Really nice people. Great location, to be fair, as well. Alan, if money were no object and tomorrow you could open a shop anywhere in the UK or anywhere in the globe, where would Ruger's next destination be? Where would you, money no object, where would you want to open?
Rome. Have you been to Rome?
I have been to Rome, yeah. And Italy sometimes for me, look, I'm as Gazette saying, I'm very, I sway always to Spain. I'm a, I love the Spanish culture and the lifestyle. And I love Italy, but it wouldn't be, I've been to Milan and I was a bit disappointed with Milan, to be honest with you. But Rome is a fantastic city.
Yeah. I have like really fond memories of Rome and that kind of Gothic medieval kind of parts of Rome. I always just remember thinking like I could take, like I'm fond of taking pictures of people with and without the clothes on. And when I'm taking pictures of hair, I like to take people outside because it's natural light that I love more than anything. Why do you think I'm out in the sun right now? And I just remember stepping outside. You know what? The time in which I'm talking about as well, we were actually working with Wahl Italia. It was me and Julius.
Yeah. Andrew Puppeteer.
Andrew and Carolina. And we had an amazing event. And then me and Julius had pretty much the full day then to kill. And we just walked around everywhere. And I remember thinking here, because I could walk out anywhere, no matter where I'm walking, I could take pictures everywhere. It looked beautiful. The response that we got from the crowd. And again, it's always about the experience for me, never the place or the money or anything. It's always about the experience. And it was very, very welcoming, hospitable, extremely friendly. And it just looked beautiful. And the food was fucking outrageous.
See, I've had a few mixed. I mean, I loved it when I were over in the Amalfi Coast, Sorrento. Joff loves it out there. But places like Napoli and Turin, it's been very commercial, very working part of the city. Not as many nice Italian restaurants, more fast food kebab shops and that. I fucking loved it, to be fair. Al, one other question as well, which is really important to people, I think, coming in. What's it like, nepotism, working with family? What's the dynamics? What's the good bits, the bad bits?
I'm still yet to find the balance because it's too hard to find. And I think that you end up being, you can end up working yourself to the bone and having all the money and cars and houses in the world, but then not having your family by your side and living in separate houses. Or do you just be content with what you've got and make sure you spend as much time with your family as possible, which is what we all endeavor to do. We want to be able to earn enough money and see to our clients and do as much as we can, but then see our family as much. So I think just losing out on some sleep, reducing your sleep, so making sure that you can see your family more. And it's just difficult. There's no other word to describe it other than difficult. It's hard to balance.
Because Gary, you've met Reese, haven't you? You've met Reese's brother.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so laid back. He's when he comes to the shows and he sits in the audience. And to be fair to him, he sits and watches Alan patiently, and then he'll say a one-liner to me that just cracks me up about him. But I would presume, Gary. I mean, Gary, you work with your brothers as well, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, we work with family. Do you know what? The first time I ever saw you, Alan, is in Liverpool. You did a barber bash thing.
That's right, yeah.
And that's the first time. And I think Joff was there and, quite a few other people. And you were on stage with your brother as well there. Is that, I mean, what's that? Is that fun?
I think social media really started to go off. And I remember getting my first couple of followers that were down to be from a haircut. Posted a picture of a haircut and got a good response. It was better of a response than me touching a dog's bollocks than the picture that I have recently taken down, or a picture of a horse with 5 legs. It wasn't actually a 5th leg. It was just a massive. And they were the kind of pictures that I were posting. And then I posted a picture of a haircut and it got a better response than anything else. So I posted another one. And like a dog, when I got a reward, I wanted more of it and more of it and more of it. So that was it. My social media presence was growing that way. And then through word of mouth, someone seeing me at one show, realizing that I could handle a microphone and I could be on stage and, nerves wouldn't get the better of me and I could perform. And it was just about having that experience in teaching that allowed me to be able to talk on stage. Once you've overcome the nerve things and realize that, hang on a minute, if people don't like it, they don't like it. But if they do, then you're on a winner. Just always having that attitude where just go up on stage, say what you've got to say, and that's it. And feeling so elated when you come off that you want to go back on as quick as you can. Always just looking for that feeling, always just remembering that as soon as you do come off, you're going to be so happy. So nerves disappeared. I did one show and then another show and another show. And at first, people aren't paying lots and lots of money for you to go to their shows. Whenever we did something with Gary, the money was never great, but it was more of the package that you got with it as well. It was, more shows or some more education or as much Jameson's as you could drink. And honestly, I made up my wage in Jameson's and everything else that came with the barber bash. So I made up for it. And it was a great experience and, really loved it. And it gave me loads more opportunities to work in other countries. And, I think as soon as I did one trip abroad, everything just snowballed. You just only put little snippets of you on stage in certain countries because obviously you don't want to give everyone the full package because you want them curious then as to what your full delivery is, what your full education program is. And by creating that curiosity, more and more people are in touch. And, it's taken me to Australia, America countless times, Italy, Spain, Indonesia, and Jakarta. You know, it just goes on and on and on.
What was your first trip abroad? What was that like?
I'm trying to think what my first trip abroad was. I'm not entirely sure. It might have been Barcelona was a very, very early one. There's a guy out there called Antonio Mateo, and he was like a keen follower, and we arranged that one. That was an early one, Barcelona.
Do you know what?
Yeah. It's one of my
Dubai
first
was
ones.
an early one.
Can you imagine? Can you remember your very first trip abroad, Simon?
I'm just going to say, I think one of my first trips abroad would have been Barcelona. Hotel
Really?
Sands. Yeah.
Working.
Yeah. For a company called Fama Fabre, who's still existing. His son Miguel runs it now. And I always remember he loved what we did out there, and he got season tickets at Barcelona. And he said,
"Is San Miguel? Is
yeah,
San Miguel or San Miguel?
San Miguel, same place." Thanks to Danny Robinson for sending me attire for tonight. Much appreciated, Danny and Co in Oldham. Thanks for my supply of Stone Island. Love it. Yeah, he's been down a Cheetahville.
Yeah.
You sewn that on a Wahl t-shirt. You have.
You what? Sorry.
You've sewn that Wahl community hoodie.
Well, we've actually got we're ready with the company that supplies Dynamite as well. We're going to get you kitted out, Gaz, next week with a CPR on all the Stone Island gear. We're going to do it. I'll never forget, before we move on to the quick fire questions, because time's running out, I'll never forget one of the one-liners. I'm always like, I love going on stage and trying to be the person who I'd want to watch on stage as well. I'll never forget Summer Allen, and he's used it a few times on stage when he's with Reese, or if Reese is in the audience, and he'll say Reese is here, or he's not, he can't be with us tonight on stage because he's still going through his transgender operation. Yeah. I can see Reese in the audience, he just goes straight over his head. First time I heard it, it were funny. And
I always remember this.
That
I went through a stage of making something up completely like mental every single time. If he wasn't at an event, I just made up something crazy. And I made up this thing once that he was born with a semi foreskin, not a full foreskin. So I ended up telling this massive audience that Reese couldn't be here today because he's having a semi circumcision. So it's just half a circumcision, not a full one, because he's only born with half a foreskin. So Reese is having foreskin surgery this afternoon. So unfortunately, he's not been able to make it today. And then dropped it, and then changed subject straight away. And before you know it, he was getting messages saying, "Mate, I hope your operation's gone well." And Reese messaged me saying, "What the fuck have you been telling everyone?"
If you'd have sent the messages to Gaz last week, that would have actually rung bang true as well. So how are you, Gaz, anyway? Are you fully repaired?
Yeah, not bad.
Did you get the photograph I sent you?
Still a bit tender.
Well, sometimes it happens to people of your age. He's going to kill me afterwards. I'm going to get a sambuca from my head. Alan, finishing off with our usual Barber's Arms quick fire questions for all our viewers. It's been great having you on the show, mate, as always. Time flies by. You know, we're already 5 minutes behind, and Gaz has got a fantastic cocktail coming up, guys, so don't go anywhere. Gaz has got his perfect lock-in cocktail for tonight, which he's going to do, and I'll go on my C2. I'm going for a... Alan, here we go. Alan Beak, Ruger Barber, Wahl Ambassador, artistic team, and Instagram champion, hairdresser and barber to a lot of the Man City players. Oh, I've got a question before I go into these quick fights. Last question I wanted to ask you. If you had to save one club, City, United, or Oldham?
Oh, do you know what? United and City will save themselves. It'd have to be Oldham.
Oldham. Good lad. I like it.
Everyone loves an underdog, don't they? And they are the underdogs.
Alan Beak, favourite food?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Spag bol. What's your favourite drink?
Favourite drink. Lucozade Tropical.
All right, Del.
Tropical.
You know, you're gonna get one on stage every time now.
Every time, I hope so.
What's your favourite tunes? What's your music? What's your go-to listen? What do you like to listen to?
Do you know what? Like, I'm running all the time at the moment, and it's just kind of like more commercial drum and bass, but that's a bit shit. I tell you what, the Teskey Brothers.
Teskey Brothers.
Yeah, old school rhythm and blues, but they're young. They're young brothers. Give them a listen to. Give them a Google. Teskey Brothers. Listen to that.
Well done. What's your favourite destination?
Sorrento.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
And as we're building his profile, we've got Alan Beak sat there having a spaghetti bolognese, drinking his Lucasade Tropical, listening to the Teskey Brothers in the background, sat in this perfect restaurant in Sorrento. Who would be your ideal dinner date?
Ooh. For romance or for laughs?
It's up to you. You got a dinner date there with all this in front of you. You've got all this backdrop, and you've got you know, a lot of fans will say me missus. Then with big coneheads would say, "Oh, I'd love to sit with Elvis Presley or President Clinton or whoever."
Are you thinking if it's someone for shits and giggles, it's all right until someone giggles and shits? So, I'd have to say, you know what? Because he's in my head because I've just seen him on Instagram. David Attenborough.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
He'd have to have a big bib on though. He's getting on a bit now, isn't he? I end up splashing spag bol everywhere.
Alan Beak, it's been a pleasure to have you on, mate.
Yeah,
you're a legend in the industry. Everybody knows you. You've done a fantastic job for raising the profile of British barbering over this last 6-7 years in particularly. Your work is second to none. And you're a true ambassador, not just for Wahl, but I think for the industry in general. Alan Beak sat in his favourite place in Sorrento, having his favourite spaghetti bolognese, drinking his Lucasade Tropical, listening to the Teskey Brothers, and sat talking about dolphins with David Attenborough. Alan Beak on the Barber's Arms. Thank you very much, young man. All the best to him. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening,
guys. See you later.
Alan, it's a pleasure, mate, always.
Thank you. Cheers, Gary. Lovely to see you, mate.
Well done, Al.
Hey.
You like that?
That's different. Definitely.
Well, do you know what I've learned though tonight? And I think this is what this show's all about. I've worked with Alan for a few years. I didn't know the story behind Ruger, so that was a really good question. And you know, there's a story behind it. There's some feeling behind it. There's some emotion behind it. You know, things like, what would you do if you weren't a barber? I like those kind of things that come out of people that we wouldn't necessarily get to find out. You certainly wouldn't ask them at a show. You won't ask them in a seminar because all the questions are directed towards the theme of the day.
Yeah.
You never asked me, neither of you, what I would do if I weren't barbering or hairdressing or being the artistic director for Wahl. And mine's twofold. I want to be a top Premier League football manager. I think I could do it. Or I'd be the top chef. I want to be a top chef.
Why you fancy a chef?
I'm not brilliant. I can do the basics, but I do it well. But I think the presenting side, I could learn how to present food. And I think I could, if it were like Yorkshire puddings, a roast, posh beans on toast, posh cheese on toast, a few pasta dishes, I think I could present it well. And I think I'd give James Martin a run for his money.
Oh, no. You probably give... I don't know about James Martin, but you give somebody a run for his money.
Like, Floyd.
Yeah, no, I like Floyd. He's always pissed. He was always pissed.
Exactly.
But, you know, you'd be more of a... You're a swearer, you are, aren't you? So you'd be more of a...
You're not so bad yourself dropping odd blighty. I think you've caught Tourette's off me.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that I've actually swore on live. I can't.
I do anyway. Apologise to your family. Guys, the country, the Barber's Arms followers, they're looking for a pick-me-up. What's the pick-me-up? While I go to for a natural break, what's this week's pick-me-up?
I'm going to deliver tonight. I can't believe it, but it's a quarantini. Can you believe it? A quarantini is going to be, it could be vodka or gin, whichever you decide. I'm going to go for vodka tonight because I quite like it. So we're going for a really good quality vodka tonight. So we've had 2 ounces or 60 ml of vodka. We've got some lime, freshly squeezed lime juice as well. So that goes in. That's a little bit more than it should be. When we actually do this, does anybody know what Manuka Honey is? I love Manuka Honey, and it's because it's a quarantine. It's got really, really, really great healing properties. So that's why we're having it tonight. It's depending on what and does everybody know what Manuka Honey is? It's from a particularly, it isn't normal honey, it's a particularly great honey, healing properties in there. So we've just got a big dollop of Manuka Honey, and also we're going to have some ice in there as well. So where's the ice coming over there? So we're going to put some ice in there out of my flask. So we're going to shake this up. And I've just got to try and get all the Manuka off the spoon there. So I'm just going to take that. Because Manuka is beautiful. So we're going to put it in. After we've measured all these out in our jigger. Now we're going to go mix it. We're going to mix this up. So what we've got is we've got a glass here, cocktail glass, and it's been rimmed, as you can see, in vodka, because we've used vodka. If you're going to use vodka, you use vodka. If you don't, you use gin. And then we've got here, I don't know if anybody can we see that there? So we're going to rim it as well with some extra vitamin C. So this is going to be your boost, if you like. So this is your boost for vitamin C. And this is Barocca. So, and because obviously it says in the quarantini. So can you see that there? So it's rimmed with vitamin C. We've got our, we're going to go and put it in there. We're just going to put a little bit of ice out of my flask. No water, just we need ice. So we're just going to get just a few lumps of ice in there, and then we're going to tip this in. Oh, can I just get this on? There we go. We're just going to tip it in. There.
Is that a oneer as well? Can you do it in one? Yeah, you can.
There we go. So, there we have it. We have our quarantine because we've all been put into quarantine around the country. It's vodka or / gin. I'm used vodka tonight. We've got Manuka Honey, lemon juice, and we've got our boost of vitamin, our Barocca, which is a boost of vitamin C. Good health, baby.
Good health. You're going to be bouncing off walls tonight, Rachel. There's no early night for you tonight.
Do you know what? That is the first time I've ever drunk that, and that is.
We just want to tell everybody as well, hopefully by Christmas, we're going to collaborate Gaz's cocktails. So all the cocktails that Gaz has done over the last 20, well, by Christmas, probably 35, 40 episodes, we're going to do 40 cocktails on the Christmas party. It's going to be a nice evening, that, Gaz, for the Christmas party. You've got to get all your cocktails ready. Or pick your 5 best cocktails that night, and you've got to do all 5 cocktails that night.
Do you know what? Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to get everybody to pick their favourite I had some Steve Bean, actually. I've only just picked up the message. Steve Bean, that you know, he works very close to me. He sent me a message saying, I've just done Dutch Courage, loved it, fantastic cocktail, thank you very much. That's what it's all about, isn't it? We're just sharing the love. We're just sharing our little bit of knowledge. Wouldn't see something, you know, particular time. Absolutely beautiful. But that Barocca on there.
Forget who I spoke to in the week. It's going to come back to me. I spoke to a few people at me, but I forget who said it to me. But one guy in particular said that Barber's arms for him over lockdown were just like so important every Friday to give him that bit of lift. And I forget, I'm sorry, whoever I spoke this week, spoke to loads of people, but he just said, it's great what you guys have done. And that's what we always wanted to devise this show to do. And I think tonight typifies that, just a natural chat with Alan, big name in the industry. We've had some big names on here over the last 28 weeks. We've got big names coming up as well, up to Christmas. We've got our virtual trade show on the 29th and 30th, where there's going to be some big names on that as well. So don't forget, you can still register for that on our website, which is barbersarms.co.uk. Register into there. I can't see the number yet, how many people's registered for that. But already Wahl's going to be there. Mitaki Scissors are going to be there. 480 people have already joined in to the show. You've still got loads of time in there to enter, but that's going to be fantastic. We're going to try to fetch something that's never been done before to the industry. I know there's been a few virtual shows so far, but this one's going to be the creme de la creme, and we're really looking forward to that, getting geared up at Wahl, certainly, and looking forward to that as well. Are you looking forward to it, Gary?
I mean, you know what? It's something that nobody's done before. This is something, again, that's going on our platform. It's part of the Barber's Arms. You know, we've got the education available that went on in the UK, the 24 hour as well. All this is available on the Barber's Arms as well, the present and the past podcasts as well. So anybody needs to see anything, just get on there and you can access everything on there as well.
Just before our local heroes come on, shall we have a little shot?
Yeah.
Warm us up a little bit. I'm still on my tough nut, Jackie, so thank you to Jackie and Ross. Still having my tough nut moonshine, which is a bit like a liqueur. It's beautiful.
I've been on the tequila, the Sierra tequila. I really love that, but I'm just gonna do now. I hope I don't finish where I started last week. But this Sambuca with licorice. Love you, baby.
Sambuca again. Well, I've just done mine, so all the best, guys.
Hello.
So we have our local hero in the house. We've got Mr. Max Osborne. Is that right?
Hello, mate.
From
Yes.
Number One Barbers in Milkins. Max, can you turn your camera around on the side for us, please?
No problem, mate. No problem. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. Oh,
Okay.
bit way there. One sec.
It's a bit better. It'd be nice to get the full side, but look, we'll go with it. Yeah, it's cool. Right? I like your t-shirt as well. We always ask people who's got their own branded t-shirts to send me and Gaz one. So don't forget to send us one of your Number One Barber t-shirts for me and Gaz. Not with your name on, but get me and Gaz.
Yeah, I can do that. I can send one with Simon on it. Don't worry.
Max, I'll have a medium.
This is a medium.
Yeah, I'm a medium.
Okay, yeah. No problem.
Medium drinks, that is.
No problem.
Max, it's a pleasure to have you on the Barber's Arms. How are you, mate? All right?
I'm very well, thank you.
The barbershop's looking great. Have you just finished work?
Yeah, I've only worked a couple of hours this evening because I'm moving house at the moment. So I came in this evening, worked a couple of hours, and then tidied the shop up so I could join you guys.
What you think?
Go on, Gaz. I was going to say the same. Go on, Gaz.
Go on.
What are you drinking?
What am I drinking? One of my customers kindly bought me a bottle of champagne on the day that we reopened on July the 4th, and I haven't had an opportunity to open it, so I just opened it, and I thought now would be a good time as ever to have a little glass of it. I know you boys like to have a random different drink, so I thought champagne would be a different one.
And have you been watching Barber's Arms?
I've watched it quite a lot of times, yeah, and I watched it a lot during lockdown.
Excellent.
Cheers.
Well, cheers, Max. Welcome to Barber's Arms.
Cheers to you lads.
We're gonna first of all ask you why you've got your drink on. Can we have a quick look round your salon before we have a chat about some of the comps you've won? Can we have a quick look round your salon?
You want to let that? Yeah, no problem. So, oh gosh, right. Let me just turn this around. So, this is the salon. Since we came back in July, we've had to add a few new additions in, which is these dividers in between the people that can't be socially distanced. But as you can see, it's not massive, but we make it work. These 2 units, we only run one of these at the moment. These are all the lovely products that you guys sent me for winning the More Than Just a Barber competition. And that's a lovely plaque. And that's about it. It's not a huge salon, but it serves a purpose. And since, let me just turn it back around. Since we returned in July, we've gone appointment only now, just totally appointment only. And it means that we can work really efficiently now. There's, we can limit the amount of people in here and again, great. I said we can limit the amount of people in here at any one time. And it just means that it's just really efficient and we make the best use of our time. But obviously, like everyone, we are experiencing this. We can't go through as many people because of the cleaning processes involved, but we're making the best of a bad situation.
Fantastic. I mean, how many barbers are you working there now at the moment?
There was 6 of us originally, and there's actually only 5 now. 1 left for a change of career recently, which actually kind of helped, to be honest. And we tend to run about 4 most days, 4 people.
Your shop looks fantastic, doesn't it? It looks really, really smart. Well played.
Yeah, I've put a lot of work into it. I've owned the business for 9 years and it's evolved and changed quite a lot over the 9 years and gone through a few different looks and I'm quite proud of it.
Which roundabout are you on Milton Keynes?
We're actually near Bletchley in the south corner of Milton Keynes, near the MK Dons Stadium. So I guess we're on MK Dons roundabout.
So when I've done work out there, I've always stayed in the hotel that's actually attached to the stadium.
Yeah, that's about half a mile that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I do kind of like Milton Keynes. When we go from our consumer, sometimes if I've got to present products up at Argos, they're based up in Milton Keynes and stay in the Holiday Inn right next door to that. I do like Milton Keynes. I do like it.
From a BBA point of view, we've worked in Bletchley Park.
Yeah, that's really close to here as well. Yeah.
That we've done a lot of work there. Yeah, that's good. Max, when you're actually working at the moment and you come back from the 4th of July, has everything gone to plan, or what you're finding hard? How's business at the moment?
Like yourself, I've done this job for many, many years, over 20 years. And in the 9 years that I've owned this place, it's always been really, really consistent, really predictable, and followed a real pattern throughout the year. You can almost predict, I could predict every month, every week, the numbers we were going to do, how busy it would be. But then since coming back, things have really been turned on their head. Like you mentioned in the previous shows, when we came back, we were immensely busy, busier than ever before, for longer than ever before. And then after that, we had one of our quietest periods ever. And then since then, the best way I can describe it is it's just been really up and down. We've had some really busy days, some quiet days, and it's been lots of peaks and troughs, which it wasn't like that before. And I guess that's just a reflection of the current economy in whatever industry you're in, I think it's just the way it is, unfortunately. But we're fortunate that we're in an area that isn't too badly affected yet. And we are still managing to do a reasonably decent trade. So,
Right, that's good. I mean, Gaz will touch on it before we finish off tonight. Obviously, there's some parts of the UK, the British Isles, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, who are on lockdown at the minute. We've still got to do the right things to protect your individual areas. to make sure that don't going into a further step. I know in my hometown of Barnsley, they're on tier 3. Did any of you watch that old lady that had an interview on TV
this morning?
Yeah, I think she did it yesterday on a Barnsley kind of. They were interviewing people, obviously, and then it went viral. And then I think GMTV got hold of it this morning, and she got interviewed. But character, and it's kind of where the older generation think that they are at minute. But we've still got to do the right things. And looking at your salon there, Max, looks like you've done the right things, and you're protecting yourselves, you're protecting your clients. And there's no reason, Gary, why the barber industry, hairdressing industry needs to close if 100% of us do the right thing.
I think in some ways, if you take the right precautions, like your masks, your visors, everyone sanitizing their hands, having social distance between people, in some respects, we're actually safer than a lot of other environments. You can understand why in some places they might not let people in the house, but you are still allowed to go to the barbers because, in a house, you're not going to be wearing a visor and a mask, but here you are. So I think in one way, it is maybe a very, very tiny risk getting your hair cut, but it's all, everything's been thought out before you go. So hopefully it's a very tiny risk,
Do you know what, Max? I think that's a great thing for you to bring up as well, because it's important to let people know that they're safe. But not only that we're in control of our own environment, aren't we? You are in control of what you're doing. So, when people go anywhere else, and I'm not disrespecting, freelancers or whatever, but if you're traveling into somebody's house, coming out of somebody's house, going out, that's not good, is it? It's not right. But I think from our point of view, if we get in touch with ministers and tell them how we're working, how well we're working, I'd like to see the actual statistics that say what's come from barbers and hairdressers. So I think that's a really good poignant point that you brought up. I think we're doing a great job, and we shouldn't be penalised.
I think all we can do is put in as many things in place so that we don't lose that customer relationship, but it builds consumer confidence. Because that's the only, in this area, like I said, we're not that affected by the actual situation, fortunately. But one thing that we are affected by is just consumer confidence, because of the overall nationally people are concerned. They're just a little bit more concerned to go out in general, whether it's to their haircut, to a restaurant, to wherever. And we just need to try and give consumers as much confidence as possible so that they continue to come out, and continue to support local business.
I agree totally, mate. That's fantastic. Great.
What's your favourite Wahl product, Max?
I don't use many of the hair products, but I do use the clippers, and I do love Wahl clippers. I'm not just saying that because it's you guys. I even brought a couple of my favourites with me. You want to see them?
Yeah, of course. We'd love to see them.
They're not that stuff. So I've just got the Wahl Magic Clip and the Wahl Super Taper. Super Taper because I've been cutting hair for over 20 years and I still use them occasionally. And the Magic Clip are one of the best inventions, one of the best things to bring to the UK in years. And obviously I had to get the chrome ones when they came out. But
you've got both limited editions there.
I have, yeah.
So trust me, keep hold of those, because we have this kind of thing in barbering where we use something for a couple of years and we always fetch new products out and new limited edition. But those in particular, the 100-year anniversary with the Super Taper blade, and then the limited edition Magic Clip's got like a black, almost like a black medal in the middle of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They are collector's items, and they will really hold their money in maybe 5 to 10 years' time. Keep hold of them, look after them.
I actually had a pair of the red Magic Clippers, and during lockdown, the chrome ones were released, and then I was like, I can't really justify buying the chrome ones when I'm not even working. But then I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll sell my Magic Clippers on eBay, and they sold for almost the same price that they are new, and then bought the chrome ones. So that's great.
There you go. Spoke to a lot of barbers guys over lockdown who were a bit short and started selling some of the clippers online, and they're amazed that they'd had clippers like
yeah.
5-6 month old, and they were still getting the same price as what they paid for them 6 months ago. So
yeah, I did the same.
Unbelievable. Well, Max, it's been a pleasure to have you on Barber's Arms. Your salon looks absolutely fantastic. I think,
Thank you.
Winning your award with the BBA. What do you think to the BBA products? Do you like them as well?
Yes. So we've only just started using them since we received them. We've only had them for a week or so. One of the ones that seems to be particularly popular with my guys is the shave oil. But they've been using the shave oil as a beard oil. And they've been saying that it's fantastic as a beard oil. They really love it. So that's probably the favourite so far. Even though I'm not sure if it's intended for that purpose, but they seem to like using it for that. So.
Oh no, I mean the beard oil is one of the premier products of the BBA, but it can be used as a beard oil. It can be used as a shaving oil as well, but it can be used as for hydrating the skin as well. It has got. I mean, when you look at the ingredients. Prickly pear seed oil, it's the premier creme de la creme.
We may have to move over to that one, maybe.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We use it all the time, but from our point of view, that from the BBA as well, fantastic on accepting and getting the acknowledgement of your award as well. Fantastic, mate.
That's all right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you later.
Well done, pal. Thank you for joining us on Barber's Arms.
Thanks, Simon.
#1 Barbers in Milton Keynes. If I'm in Milton Keynes, mate, up in Bletchley, I'm going to come up and visit you. But you're credit to the industry. Great to have you on as a local hero. Your salon looks fantastic. So good luck to you, pal. Have a great.
Thank you, man. Stay safe.
Stay safe, bro. Well done.
See you later. Cheers.
Yeah.
Remember a medium for Simon.
Yeah. Send me fucking 2 though, so I can stitch the bastards together.
What a lovely fella.
What a beautiful looking barbershop. Well-spoken young man, doing the right thing in business 9 years, doing the thing right, winning awards, picking up, calibers of that kind of things. And I think it's really important. We're going to now switch from Milton Keynes. We're going to go over to my hometown of Barnsley, a real good friend of mine who I've known for years and years and years, Mr. Tony Batty. Tony, in the house, welcome to Barber's Arms. Tony, are you there? Tony, are you there? We can see you, Tony, but press the mute button. Tony, can you hear us? Tony, you need to take your mute button off.
I've done it.
Yes. Here we go. Tony Batty from Barnsley, my hometown of Barnsley. Nice to see you, brother.
Hiya, buddy. Are you keeping all right?
Yes, we're very well. How are you, young man?
Not bad. Tired. I ain't been in long.
Well, Gary, I spoke to Tony earlier, Gaz, and he said, look, he phoned me up and he said to me, sorry, I can't stay in salon at 9 o'clock. He says, I've been in there since 5:30 this morning. I think 7 o'clock he was finishing. And he said, where his shop is in Barnes, been there years. And we're going to talk about some of the awards you've won, Tony, but he needs to get home tonight. So Tony's in his home environment. But Tony, welcome to Barber's Arms, one of our local heroes. Just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in my shop for 35 years now. I've been cutting it's a bit embarrassing really when you think about it, a long time, like an old granddad. But yeah, I've been in that shop 34 years and I don't really know what to say. It's a small, so there's only me, it's a one-man band. So there's only me. I work from 6:30 in the morning till 6:30 in the night.
And how many clients do you average in a day?
3 to 4 an hour.
Do the maths, Gaz.
Yeah,
come on,
that's a lot of clients. Hey, Tony, it's lovely to meet you. I know I haven't spoken to you before, but I'm Gary Machin, and it's we're about similar age, I think. Something similar, I think. Should we be about?
We'll leave it at that, shall we? Shall we leave it at that?
Yeah, we'll just. And Simon's exactly the same age as well. He tries to kid everybody as well, but we're all the same age. You know what I mean? So
we're going to leave that to the viewers. We're going to leave that to the viewers. Take a snapshot now, viewers, and send it in by email. Who's the youngest out of us three?
Simon used to babysit from a little baby.
Tony, joking apart and everything, how's things at the moment? How are you?
I'm great actually at the moment. It's I'll admit it's stressing. It is very stressing with what's going on. You don't know if you're closing or opening or whatever. But since I've been back since 4th of July, it's been great. Really, everybody's sort of. I'm nearly back at board again now. All my clients are all back with me now.
So
go on, guys.
No.
I was just going to ask Tony to share. I know Tony personally, and first of all, Tony, what are you drinking tonight?
Avion Blanc.
Nice. Gary, Tony does some great charity work over at Western Park at Sheffield, which is one of the biggest cancer hospitals for operations rehabilitations in the UK, if not Europe. Tony, tell us a little bit about your charity work that you do.
Well, it all started about 2 years ago. A gentleman come in shop, he entered an haircut or a shave for about 4 months. He'd been laid in bed, because he was terminally ill. And his daughter brought him in to ask me if I could do him a cut and a shave. So I gave him an haircut and a shave, and he says, God, mate, he says, I've never felt as fresh in a long, long time. He just gave me an inspiration to start going out to people's houses that were terminally ill to start doing their hair and shaving them free of charge. It's a free gesture I do for them.
Unbelievable, mate. Fantastic.
It's such a nice little story, that. And Tony, just to tell the viewers as well, I know a little bit of the history because obviously I'm from Barnsley, and when I'm back in Barnsley, I pop in to see Tony. He's a great character. But Tony, you've won some awards as well, haven't you, locally in the area? Just tell us about some of the trophies you've won.
Yeah, I've won the Barnsley Shop Awards 5 times in a row now. It's done every year, but obviously this year's been missed because of the COVID. But yeah, I've run it 5 times in a row now. Yeah.
What's that, Tony? Barbershop of the Year?
It's an award that it's called the Barnsley Shop Awards, and basically they come and judge you on your shop, everything about it, access for the shop, and everything really. Like your mannerisms and everything. And for the last 5 years, I've been the winner every year for 5 years.
Unbelievable, fantastic. I know have you just been accredited for your barbershop as well?
Yeah, I've just been accredited by the BBA. Yes, I think that's about four years, I think now. Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, why did you want to be accredited though? What was that? What did that add to your value of your shop? I know you work on your own. Have you got any staff at all or not?
Not at the moment, no. But I've got my son starting as an apprentice in the next couple of weeks. He's been with me a while, just helping me tidy up and stuff. But he started as an apprentice. I think accreditation, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It shows people that you care about them and the safety of the shop, really. I think it's a fantastic award, really, when you get the accreditation.
Do you know what? I mean, I think from my point of view, when we talk about the accreditation of the shop, I think it's just about belonging. I think from my point of view, I think it was a belonging of, being attached to something, that somebody recognises how good you are. I know if anybody out there, if you want to get accredited from the BBA, get in touch with Vicky at the British Barbers Association. You need to do that because I think it adds value to your business as well, doesn't it, Tony?
It does, yeah. I mean, I got accredited many moons ago, like I told you. Jason Shankly from Ireland is a friend of mine, and he got in touch with me and told me about the accreditation. That's how I got in touch with him, really.
Which is really good. I mean, Gaz, if you go to Tony's shop, it's just right at the edge of town centre. But his marketing's really clever outside. It's very traditional. He's got some nice billboards outside. He's got one of those imitation razors outside. It looks, as you're driving into town, just before you get to town centre, it's the shop that you see on the right-hand side. And it won't be saying Barnsley if you didn't drive into Barnsley. Down that road, it wouldn't be the same unless you saw the razor outside, the billboards outside. It's Tony and Sons. It's great. It's just great to have him there.
What's happening at the moment with you, Tony, with the situation with? I think you're in tier 3, are you?
Well, yeah, we're in tier 3 after 12 o'clock tonight. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, like I said, like everybody keeps saying, it's keeping on top of everything. I mean, I've got two fogging machines that I use every day to fog all the shop down. I've got sanitizing, masks. We can't, as barbers, I don't think barbers can be faulted of what they do. We are trying as hard as to keep the clients as safe as possible.
What is the test now with Barnsley? Are you allowed to open still, or are we on tier 3?
Yeah, we're still allowed to work. Or you know, the only the thing they put into place is pubs have got to close. Betting shops, play areas. But apart from that, the barbering industry and the hairdressing are still allowed to open. Like.
Well, I think, you know, from our point of view, I mean, from the Barbers' Arms, I'm quite surprised, which is great, because from a Northern Ireland point of view and Wales, they've been completely shut down. So I think within England, then we aren't under the same restrictions at the minute. Then I'm guessing.
No.
No.
And it can be a bit confusing. Tony, I was in Barnsley on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we went out for a beer Wednesday night with some of our reps were up from a safety, but we went up to Tom Tread, and everybody sat on their own table. It's good atmosphere, but then Dave Clayton came in, who's got the Prime Minister in Barnsley, the Londoner, and he was saying they're staying open because they're selling food, but obviously Maz and Dave have got to shut down from midnight tonight. It's a bit confusing, guys. You can go into a bar and have a few beers and have something to eat, but you can't go into a bar and just have some beers. It's a little bit weird. But I just, as I said to our other guests tonight, as long as we keep doing the right things in barbering, and that machine that Tony's got, I've been into the shop, it's antibacterial mist, it's on a generator, and it just smears all the shop, just clears all bacteria. And I think things like that are really important at the minute to give your clients insurance and security, but also for Tony as well. You know, I'm not saying him and his staff, just Tony, but for him himself, he needs to do that.
Well, I need to do it because obviously, as you know, Simon, I've got a kidney transplant, so I've got to make sure that my shop's safe for my clients, but mostly safe for me as well.
Well, I wasn't going to mention it tonight. You've mentioned it, but obviously, Tony, with that condition, his immune system's not strong, is it? So to work I mean, I was trying to work out the figures, but I'm going to say between 30 and 40 customers a day. It's a lot of contact. So obviously, by investing in the stuff, and every time I go into Tony's, he's bought something new. He invests all the time back into his shop, whether it's visual or equipment or PPE or music or a TV. Every time you go in, he's put money back into his shop, which I think's a credit to you, mate. You've done really well, pal. And that's probably why you've picked up 5 years on the trot the Barnes' Barbershop a year. Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to die of COVID in my shop. You know, I'm going to self-combust with hand sanitizer. I've got on my hands all the time.
Tony, did you see the old lass on?
I did, yeah.
When she had, well, I think we'd seen it before because it was on some kind of Barnsley Chronicle vid on their Facebook. So I watched it yesterday before it came out anyway, but it's gone viral. But she said it as it were, didn't she?
Yeah, oh, she was brilliant, wasn't she? Really, bless her.
Maureen.
Yeah, she really told. She need. I think she needs to be next Prime Minister to be actually. You know what I mean? She's.
Well, we're going to try and get her on Barber's Arms next week.
You know what, Tony? I am absolutely. I know we have to do it, and I know, but I'm absolutely sick and tired of washing my hands. To be honest, I'm guessing you do as well, because you're doing how many clients you are. We do about 20 clients a day, and you wash your client, you wash your kit, you wash your. I'm absolutely sick and tired of washing my hands. To be honest, I can see where you're coming from, but we just got to do it, haven't we? There's nothing else for me. But I'm absolutely like, almost making my hands sore.
Tony, a couple more things we want to leave you with as well before you leave. Is one, I'm going to give you a challenge for us while we're not in Barnsley, is to get in touch with Maureen and tell her that we want to become on Barber's Arms next week. I know you've got major contacts in Barnsley. I'm sure you can do your detective stuff and try and get in touch with her through some kind of social media site to try and get her on Barber's Arms. And before we leave you, what's your favourite Wahl clipper?
My favourite one, to be honest with you, I love the detail. I think it's the new one. You know, the I think it's absolutely amazing bit of kit, and it's really, really sharp. I've used some other stuff, and it don't cut half as clean as what that does. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It is good.
Yeah.
And another thing, guys, what Tony does as well is, I always see him reinvesting his equipment a lot. He'll not go where his clippers are knackered. As soon as his clippers are knackered, he's wanting to swap them over and get the best new ones. Whatever's new out there, he wants them in. And you're a credit to town, mate. I've known you for a long time. It's fantastic to have you on Barber's Arms, especially being, from Barnsley as well. I'm really proud of what you achieved there. And long may it continue for you, mate. Long may it continue for you.
Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you. And thank you, Gary. Hey,
mate. We will definitely be up there and we'll have a pint with you.
Definitely.
Ladies and gents, on Barber's Arms, one of our local heroes from Barnsley, Mr. Tony Batty from Tony and Sons. Tony, I'll see you next couple of... Well, when Tier 3 comes out, I'll be back in Barnsley to come and say hey up to you, pal. But God bless, stay safe. And
take care.
Good luck.
Right, look after yourselves both and you. Take care.
Tony Batty.
We'll have a quick one with you, baby.
What a great guest tonight. I've loved it.
One of your own.
One of my own. We could have a conversation no one else would understand, with all our little innuendos and us chopping words off and phrases off. We need Maureen on next week now.
Oh, you know what it is? I really, really like, I do, meeting people that you don't usually see, and it's great. It's great. Come on, we're having another shot anyway.
Well, this will be my last one for tonight. I've got an unbusy day tomorrow. Boxing tomorrow a little bit, I think.
Excuse me, what are you doing busy on a Saturday?
Well, I'm going boxing tomorrow. Not by being for about 10 days, so it's going to be an hard one for tomorrow. And then I'm in London on Sunday, start doing my judging of the Barbershop of the Year. So cheers to everybody. Cheers to all our finalists this year, all the Barber of the Year finalists and the Barbershops of the Year finalists. I'll see you all next week. Down the hatch, Gaza.
To you.
Oh, I know you've been having cheeky shots while we've been talking. You always go quiet when we're talking, and I can see the hand movements going back and you slipping them in.
Well, when I can't get in there, or when I haven't got anything to say, I just have a little. I get bored.
Just before we finish off, guys, a few little housekeeping things I want to say. I've had a few messages on personal messages tonight. When is the Barber and the Barber of the Year announced? That is going to be on the 16th of November. So all through that day, a couple of days before, but Monday the 16th of November, around about 3:30, we're going to build it up big. But that's when we'll be announcing the new Wahl British Barber of the Year and the new Wahl British Barbershop of the Year on those dates and those times. Guys, I know time's running on tonight. Brilliant guest tonight on episode 28. I want to send a message out to our friends and our brothers and sisters out in the places that are locked down at minute. I think in Scotland, in Ireland and Northern Ireland and in Wales, you're going to have a tough period again. I think in Ireland it's 6 weeks that they've been told that they're on a lockdown. There's going to be a lot of fear about, as there were first time. And trust me, I have fear about my working from home, my position in my mind's very uncertain in terms of when I can actually get back to my normal job. But trust me, in this next period of time, guys, you've got to do the right thing. I saw a great message from Asylum Barbers in Cork to say, look, we've taken this tough decision to shut. It's devastating, but please respect our staff. Don't ask any of them for haircuts in the next 6 weeks. And I took my hat off to that. There'll be lots of fear there with Andrea Raymond and her partner about closing down. Gary Jackson and Mary having to close down again. There's going to be a fear there. But with fear comes courage. Guys, whenever we get a bit of fear in us, the defense mechanism comes up. And all I want to say to you is we're all with you. We're not with you financially, but we are thinking about you. And everybody's scared and got the fear factor in England and Scotland thinking it might happen to them soon. So with the fear factor becomes a defense mechanism. And I know that you've done it once and I know you'll do it again. And, we're here. Me and Gaz are here. You've got us email addresses. You've got us Instagrams to talk to us both. The defense mechanism will come up with fear about your future, fear about the financial sides of it. But always in that period of time comes that strength, comes that innovation, new ideas, how you're going to be better when you get back. So just use that positive time to try to think about that while you're doing it. I send you all my love. Stay safe out there, everybody. And, particularly to Wales and Ireland and Northern Ireland, this show's dedicated to you guys to keep the faith, keep your heads up. And all of us at Barber's Arms are with you. God bless to you all. Stay safe.
Simon Shaw, thank you very much. Everybody out there, you know how we feel. Or everybody's campaigning, I hope so, for everybody getting in there. But can I just say as well, Scotland there, we are with you as well. Just pushing it in there. But from the Barber's Arms, we're all there with you. We're here next Friday. Mr. Me and Simon Shaw, we love you. Straight home. No messing about.
No messing about, guys. We'll see you next week on episode 29, where we've got Nick Arregio. I'm having to do it because you can't even say it. Nick Arregio is on the show next week. Nick Arregio is going to be with us next week. So episode 29 next week will be fantastic. In the meantime, stay safe, share the show, have a look on our website, get booked in for the virtual trade show. We love you all. God bless to everybody. Good night. God bless.